We're going to start with an opening statement with head coach Joe Tartamella.
Well, first off, thank you all for being here. This is just another day where we know the season is getting closer, so we're always happy to have you guys here, and it wouldn't be possible without you, and the exposure for our players, our program, and our university lends itself to you guys covering it. So we thank you so much for being here. Some familiar faces, some new faces. So we're extremely excited about the season. We've got a number of newcomers and some fresh faces. We've had, I think we're on our 17th practice today, and we'll have our first scrimmage this weekend. So we've got two young freshmen who have been certainly a pleasant surprise through the preseason and over the summer. Some returners of the names that you heard. Akina Walaire being recognized as a preseason All-Big East player. Maya Singleton, Amani Littleton, and Alicia Kebby all returned from last year's team playing major minutes. And so we've had some pretty energetic practices. Our staff is excited about what we've seen. I've had some staff additions. I added Rory Kuhn as an assistant coach. Came to us from Northwest Florida on the men's side as a junior college assistant coach. So he's brought some really good things to us early in his start here. And I'll be making some more additions shortly to complete our staff, so that'll be exciting as well. We look forward to bringing our fans and our alum an exciting year once again with the team that we have, and certainly I'll be happy to answer any questions that you all have.
Okay, we're going to open up to questions. We have a couple of mics out in the audience, so when the mic gets to you, just introduce yourself and ask Coach the question. So we'll take questions. Go ahead, Doug.
Hey, Coach. Doug Feinberg, DAP.
Hi, Doug.
What's the biggest thing you guys think you need to do this year to be successful?
I mean, I think every year we come in, we know that we need to be great on the defensive end to be able to win games. I think certainly we have to replace, two players for us that were a pretty big part of our success last year, in Aaliyah Lewis and Jade Walker. When you look at the numbers, 24.6 points a game, 725 shots taken all year, 64 minutes a game. There's a lot to replace there, but I think we've got a really good group of young players, including the freshmen that we have, kids that have gotten better. But for us, it always will start and begin, on the defensive end. And, being able to lead the country in three-point field goal percentage defense last year, being able to lead the league in a lot of categories defensively has been something that's been a staple for us over my entire time here, whether it be an assistant or as a head coach. But for us, we always feel that that's where we're going to begin and end.
Question? Right in the front, Jaden. In the front.
Joe, Jaden Daly, Daily Dose of Hoops. You mentioned Maya in your opening statement. She started a few games last year, and she put up some good numbers in those limited games that she played. What did you get a feel for about her in her playing time, and how confident are you in her being able to step up this year?
Yeah, I mean, Maya will be our emotional leader. She works as hard as anybody we've had. She was mad at me for a while last year, probably, but she got to show everybody what she could do toward the end of the year. She's going to be a big part of what we do. When you look at her coming out of Trinity Valley, there were probably some question marks about her offensive ability, and it was far from deficient from when we got her. So, for me, I think she's going to be a breakout player for us. I think she's got to be a breakout player for us to be successful. She's become a great leader on this team, just by the way that she goes about her work every single day. There's not a day where we walk into practice. We chart our practices. We do a lot of different, things to chart and try to give ourselves benchmarks. And she's probably won 50 to 60% of our practices based upon her effort level, her stats, the things that she does. So we certainly look at her as somebody who's going to be a big part of what we do. Rebounding the ball, she's tremendous. Athletically, she's learned the game, learned the system better. She really came into her own, and she's experienced. I mean, she's played at every level. So she's excited. She's excited for our team, and we're excited that we have her.
Hey, Coach, Sean O'Coola with the Torch. You've been to the postseason your first 5 years here now. What would it take for you to define like a successful season this upcoming year?
You know, I mean, every year we go into the season, you know, certainly we have players that their expectation, because they don't know any better, they've only gone to the postseason, you know, and I think sometimes we get caught up in that being the sole goal. For us, it's really trying to see how good we can be as a group. And from the day that our season ended last year, you know, our work had to begin through the summer as we got into our summer workouts and now into the preseason. I mean, we define our success in a number of areas, and it's not just about getting to the postseason. Certainly that's one of them. Every year our team is different. Every dynamic is different. You know, we really were looking for growth, you know, from the day that we ended our season last year until we finish now, because we've got some new faces. We've got some players that need to now step into the spotlight and be able to garner that, play under that type of I wouldn't say pressure, but play under the understanding that people were gunning for them, you know. So we've had some pretty great teams. We have kids who have garnered experience in the postseason, whether it's the NIT or the NCAA tournament. We've played in the semifinal of the Big East tournament every year that I've been here. We've been in 2 championship games. So to play in 10 straight postseasons is great, but also every year I make sure that we don't take it for granted how hard it is to get to the postseason. And I don't care if it's NCAA or NIT, but to be able to be in the postseason, it's really hard, and especially year in and year out. And success for us really is we want to make sure we're getting the best out of our team that we can. We don't want to underachieve. We want to be able to overachieve and overdeliver. You know, our league look in the preseason is probably not where I thought it would be, but that's okay too. It gives us something to shoot for. So I don't mind being a dark horse.
Go ahead. In the front.
Chris Barco with the Queens Chronicle. You mentioned before Maya how she's going to have to take a bigger role with this team. Where do you actually see the offense coming from now that you've lost, you know, to your bigger offensive producers from last year? Is Maya going to be an answer? Do you see the offense coming from anywhere else?
Well, I mean, certainly you're never going to replace a skilled player like Jade Walker right away. I mean, her ability to play inside out was unbelievable, probably one of the better ones I've had in my time. Aquino Allaire is really has to step into that role and become our consistent scorer, but it's not going to be obviously her individual responsibility. We have more balance. I think we have more of an understanding of how we're going to play off our different sets or different entries. I think Q Hoppy, who is an incoming freshman, has the ability to score as good as anyone we've had. Andrea Adams becomes extremely important to us because of her ability to score. Alicia Keby's improvement from last year, and Alicia didn't have the summer coming in freshman year, and people forget that. She just stepped on the campus in the fall, and she's had a full year this time to be able to develop. And then, of course, Maya, I think, will surprise people in her ability to be able to finish. Amani Littleton has been a big key for us. I mean, it's going to have to be a group effort. We don't have, I think, a night in and night out guy who's going to score 20. I don't think we've ever had that. But I think as a group, you know, I think we could be pretty talented. We have shot the ball better this year than I've seen my teams in the last 5 years. We've shot the ball extremely well, and I'm really impressed by that. And so if we can do that, certainly we'll open the floor up for different things. And, you know, I feel pretty good about our ability to not only be able to knock down the outside shot, but to also continue to manufacture points, whether it be from the defensive end or from the foul line.
Andy, in the back.
Hey, Joey. Can you envision Imani and Maya playing on the court at the same time for significant minutes together? And would that maybe change typical offense that you guys have had the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, you know, as it stands now, they've played extremely well together through our practices. I think they give us a little bit of a mixture of power, speed, length. Even more so, the ability to be versatile all over the floor. They can both guard anybody on the court. And so, as I've said, defensively, we want to do a lot of different things as we do through the year. they both provide me with versatility. And, so I think we can do a lot of different things with them on the floor because of Amani's length, her speed, her ability to guard multiple positions, her ability to run the floor, along with Maya's strength, power, and her athleticism. So certainly there are lineups that we've used and we've worked with that we feel that certainly they could be an important force for us.
Dylan?
Hey, Coach, Dylan with the Torch. Taking it back a couple months, you guys go to the Washington Mystics for practice over the summer. How did that kind of influence the way you run things, and how did that kind of inspire the team to kind of work harder and get to where they want to be?
I mean, I think anytime you have a chance to watch a pro team go about their business, more significantly for your players and their ability to watch how they work and their mentality when they step on the floor, whether it's pre-practice, post-practice, it's beneficial. We're fortunate to have a great relationship with the folks at the Mystics, and it was a great opportunity for all of us to sit with their coaching staff, to watch their players. And I think it always makes an impact, more so for your players than anybody, because they have a chance to interact, a chance to watch what it means to be a pro. And players that come here, they have dreams of getting drafted and hearing their name. And for years we heard about how that would never happen here. And in the last 5 years, we've had 4 players drafted and one who's played for 2 years in the WNBA. And when they hear their name, it's the greatest thing they've ever heard, in their life. So for our players to continue to strive to be a part of whether it be the WNBA or to play overseas, that's something that we want to expose them to as much as we can. If we have that opportunity here, we will do it, and we'll continue to do it.
Okay, we'll take 2 questions. Go ahead.
Hey, Coach, Darren from the Torch. Certainly, it's unfortunate that Tiana had to miss her freshman season due to a season-ending injury. What are your expectations for this upcoming season? How is she looking so far?
She's the forgotten woman, I should say, but she's really been forgotten, and it's not a bad thing for me. Tiana has progressed extremely well off her injury. We were, obviously, we hoped we'd have her last year to be able to help us from the point guard position, along with learning from Aaliyah Lewis on the floor. Tiana's development will be a big part of how we play this year. And so, I think she looks great. She looks back to where she was before the injury. She's had some great practices. She's had some practices where she's looked like she hasn't played for a year, and that happens. And so, she's got to be an important part for us. And she knows she knows what she needs to do and the expectations that are set forth, especially as someone who's going to be a primary ball handler at times for our team. And athletically, she's as gifted as Aaliyah Lewis was, and probably more so. She shoots the ball better. And so we hope that her development will continue to improve, which we know it will. And, we're excited to get her on the floor. I mean, really, she's 17 practices in, to her career. She missed the entire year last year.
Now, in a good way, do you see this season, considering the roster turnover, having to replace a lot of offense, do you see this season as maybe the most challenging in your tenure, considering what you're going to have to cobble together offensively and maybe throw some new schemes out there?
No. Nothing could be like my first year. I mean, nothing. And so, to me, getting through the first year, you're hosting the NCAA tournament, you're ranked number 14th in the country preseason. You have a new president, new Under Armour deal. Eugene McPherson goes down with a torn ACL 2 games into the season. I don't want to see that again. And so, on top of that, starting off probably 500 and having to win your last 10 games to get into the tournament that you're hosting. And if you don't make it, it doesn't look good, right? So, every year since then, I've learned so much. I've changed a lot as a coach. And so, in 15 years, I've seen a lot. I'm sure I haven't seen it all, as we all know, but certainly we have challenges every year. And we had a challenge last year playing without Tiana. And so, you know, we go into every year looking at how we can be successful or the ways that we think we're going to be successful with the players that we have, and then our job is to get the best out of them. And so, certainly, we are challenged every year as coaches to be able to do that. So this year's no different.
Okay. We're going to wrap Coach's portion. He'll be available during the breakout